Hi, everyone. My name is Suzie Hicks, and I have the amazing job of talking about sparking climate action with kids' media. So, I am going to start with a little bit of a poll. When did you first learn about climate change? How old were you? Were you in school? Was it on the news? Think about the first time it really entered your consciousness. Then, I want you to think about how it made you feel. Did you feel excited or scared or happy or sad? What emotions came up for you? And then finally, and I promise this is relevant, who was a childhood hero of yours? All of this comes together because I, as a kid, was really inspired by Steve Irwin. And the way that Steve Irwin loved the earth inspired me to love the earth as well. And so I grew up to become a kids media maker. I'm a children's author, and a climate activist, and a teacher. And so here are some pictures of my work. I work at my local PBS kids station, but I also have my own show about climate change called Suzie Hicks, the Climate Chick and Sprout. And our show is about local climate issues meeting local climate solutions by highlighting role models so that kids can see people that they can look up to who are taking collective climate action. And they can also see jobs that they could have in the future. It ties science inquiry and social emotional learning and music together to give kids climate literacy and the ability to regulate their emotions and see how they can take climate action together. We were just featured on All Things Considered 2 days ago on NPR. So if you want more information, go check it out there. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the landscape of kids' media and climate science. So setting the stage, children are being actively impacted by climate change today. This is not an earth that they're inhabiting or that they're inheriting. This is the earth that they're inhabiting right now. But there's a gap. Families are not talking about it, and most school districts do not require a curriculum about it. And so there is a deep need for climate education and climate literacy, but there isn't a lot of content out there. And a lot of teachers aren't teaching climate because they don't have the access to the materials. And so when I'm creating my materials, my educational materials, I ask myself 3 questions. What information needs to be communicated? What emotional impacts will it have? And how can we engage our audience in collective engagement afterwards? I wrote my thesis on ecophobia, which is a term that means kids looking at environmental destruction and saying, oh, I actually don't want to learn about that. That's too much. So when we talk about issues like climate change, we need to understand how it's going to affect our audiences and how we can engage our audiences to make real change. So in modern media right now, most of the media that focuses on climate talks about what's happening and why it matters. But that's not the whole story. We need to zoom out and talk about what caused it, what's happening, why it matters, but also what's being done about it and how you can get involved. And so my job as a climate educator and a climate media maker is to highlight solutions and stories of togetherness. And that's what we do in the show. So my main thesis of the work that I do is that kids media has the opportunity to be a healthy intervention point to increase climate literacy and equip young people with the tools to tackle the climate crisis together. So here are a couple of do's and don'ts about communicating climate change to early learners. The first one is highlight solutions. You don't want to hear about a big problem and not hear that we're trying to solve it. The second one is include a call to action. See how kids can get involved. Go to the library, find your local garden, understand how your house is getting energy. Focusing on togetherness. We don't need to highlight only individual action. This is a collective issue. It's going to have collective solutions. And finally, make it intersectional. Climate change isn't happening in a vacuum. And if we are going to collectively support the planet, we need to collectively support everyone on it. Now, here's some don'ts. The first one is lead with guilt. Kids just got here. It's not their job to fix the entire system that has been broken for years. The next one is promote only individual action. I recycled batteries all the time as a kid, and climate change still got worse. The next one is trash humanity at large. Indigenous people lived sustainably for thousands of years. We don't need to say that all humans are bad. We've made a lot of mistakes, and we can fix them. And finally, don't prophesize the future. We're still writing it every day, and we can write it in a way that's way more positive than right now. Awesome. So I'm going to give you a quick sneak peek at the show just for a couple of seconds. This is our original song called Bright Future, and it comes out in 2 weeks. So this isn't even on the internet yet. All right, we're going to go here.
Oh, bright. If we use water, wind, earth, and sunlight, we will be all right. Our future is, yeah. future is so bright. Suzie.
Awesome. So that is our show. You can find it on YouTube. And I will just leave you with these statements. The climate crisis is a huge problem, but we are born problem solvers. And in the great process of problem solving, there is room for fun and there is room for joy. And everyone has something to offer and everyone has something to learn. Thank you all so much. Please keep in touch. You can find me at Suzie Hicks Climate Shake on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube at Suzie and Sprout. And reach out. I love getting to meet everyone, and I'm really grateful to be a part of this. Thanks, everyone.